Something impossible is happening right now. An object is broadcasting signals. On October 29th, 2025, astronomers detected a transmission from deep space that shouldn't exist. Not from a star, not from a pulsar, but from something moving through our solar system at 68 kilometers per second. The source? An interstellar visitor designated 3I Atlas, a comet-like object that's doing something comets don't do. It's transmitting a structured signal on a frequency pattern that mirrors the exact mathematical ratios we use in our own space communications. Stop. Think about that for a second. This isn't random cosmic noise. The signal exhibits a precise 1.618 ratio, the golden ratio, repeating every 7.2 seconds with mechanical precision. No natural celestial body has ever produced anything like this. And here's what should concern every scientist watching. The signal's power is increasing as the object approaches Earth. That's not a typo. The transmission strength has doubled since detection. By November 15th, when 3I Atlas makes its closest approach at 105 astronomical units from Earth, the signal will be strong enough for amateur radio operators to detect. This is happening now, not in some distant galaxy, not in theoretical models, but here, in our solar system, observable with current technology. The implications are staggering. If this signal is artificial, if something is actively broadcasting, then we're witnessing either first contact or the most elaborate cosmic coincidence in human history. Scientists at the Minor Planet Center are scrambling to explain what they're seeing. The Hubble Space Telescope has been redirected. The James Webb Space Telescope is preparing emergency observations. Every major observatory on Earth is now tracking a single object that's breaking our understanding of what's possible. But there's a problem. Our models can't explain this. According to everything we know about cometary physics, about orbital mechanics, about natural radio emissions from space objects, 3I Atlas shouldn't be doing what it's doing. The frequency is too stable, the pattern is too precise, the timing is too perfect. When the Atlas Telescope Network in Chile first spotted this object on July 1st, 2025, they thought they'd found just another interstellar visitor, another Oumuamua, another Borisov. They were wrong, 7.2%. That's how much 3I Atlas deviated from its predicted trajectory on October 25th. Not 0.7%. Not a rounding error. A full 7.2% change in path with no visible outgassing, no detectable jets, no explanation within known physics. The Hubble data is unambiguous. Something altered this object's course. Something we can't see. Something we can't measure. Something that operates outside our current understanding of gravitational dynamics. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory ran the numbers 3 times. They got the same impossible result each time. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, leading the trajectory analysis, teams stated the measurements were beyond troubling. Her team's calculations show that to achieve this deviation naturally, 3I Atlas would need to be venting material at rates that would make it visible to backyard telescopes. But there's no visible coma, no tail, no dust, just an object moving in ways that violate our predictions, broadcasting signals that shouldn't exist. The European Space Agency detected something else. Their Mars Express orbiter, from its vantage point 0.8 AU from the signal source, recorded frequency modulations that don't match any known natural phenomenon. The modulations follow a mathematical sequence, not random, not chaotic, but ordered, like a cosmic Morse code we haven't yet deciphered. ESA's preliminary analysis suggests the signal contains nested patterns, patterns within patterns, exhibiting a complexity that typically requires intentional design. We need to be clear about something. This isn't speculation anymore. The data is real. The measurements are verified. Multiple independent observations confirm what we're seeing. The Atlas Network in Chile, the Minor Planet Center in Massachusetts, Hubble in orbit, Mars Express at Mars, the James Clerk Maxwell Telescope in Hawaii, the Lowell Discovery Telescope in Arizona. They're all seeing the same thing, an object that shouldn't exist, doing things that shouldn't be possible. 18.2 magnitude. That's the current brightness of 3I Atlas, barely visible to professional telescopes, invisible to the naked eye. But the radio signal, it's broadcasting with the power of a small transmitter, concentrated in a narrow beam that sweeps across space like a lighthouse. Every 7.2 seconds, that beam passes over Earth. Every 7.2 seconds, we receive a pulse that defies explanation. Here's what changes everything. The signal started exactly when 3I Atlas crossed the orbit of Neptune, not approximately, not roughly, but exactly at the moment it entered the outer boundary of our solar system proper. The precision of this timing has astronomers at the International Astronomical Union arguing about coincidence versus causation. How does an object know when it's crossed an invisible boundary in space? Why would it begin transmitting at that precise moment? The spectroscopic data makes this worse. The James Clerk Maxwell telescope detected absorption lines that don't match typical cometary compositions. Where we expected to see water ice, methane, ammonia, the usual suspects of cometary chemistry, we're seeing something else. Unusual carbon chains, complex organic molecules that shouldn't survive interstellar radiation, materials that suggest either an origin, unlike any comet we've studied, or protection from cosmic rays that we don't understand. Nobody expected what happened next. On October 27th, at 3:42 a.m. UTC, the signal changed. For 12 seconds, the steady 7.2 second pattern broke. In its place came a rapid burst of pulses. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21. The Fibonacci sequence. Then it returned to its regular pattern as if nothing had happened. Every radio telescope that was listening recorded the same anomaly. This wasn't equipment failure. This wasn't interference. This was the object itself demonstrating that its signal could change, could encode information, could communicate. Dr. James Patterson at SETI isn't saying it's aliens, but he's not saying it isn't either. His team has been analysing the signal structure for patterns that might indicate artificial origin. What they've found has them working around the clock. The carrier wave exhibits phase modulation consistent with digital encoding. The power spectrum shows discrete frequencies rather than the continuous spectrum expected from natural emissions. The polarization is circular, highly unusual for natural sources but common in engineered transmissions. We're dealing with three impossibilities. First, the trajectory deviation that physics can't explain. Second, the radio transmission that nature doesn't produce. Third, the mathematical patterns that suggest intention rather than coincidence. Any one of these would be the discovery of the decade. Together they're forcing us to confront a possibility that most scientists have relegated to science fiction. We might not be alone, and we might be receiving a message. The velocity tells another story. 68 kilometers per second at perihelion. That's fast. Too fast for a typical comet from our own Oort cloud. 3I Atlas is moving like something that came from very far away, from another star system entirely. Its hyperbolic trajectory confirms it. This object is just passing through. It entered our solar system. It's broadcasting as it swings around our sun, and soon it will leave, never to return. We have one chance to understand what we're seeing, but understanding requires accepting the impossible. Consider what we know about radio emissions from comets. When comets approach the sun, solar wind can create plasma interactions that generate radio waves, but those waves are chaotic, broadband, unpredictable. They don't pulse with mechanical precision. They don't encode mathematical sequences. They don't increase in power as the object moves away from the sun. Everything about 3I Atlas's signal contradicts what we know about natural cometary radio emissions. The October 30th data changed the conversation. The Minor Planet Center released updated orbital elements showing that 3I Atlas isn't just deviating from its predicted path. It's accelerating in a direction perpendicular to both solar radiation pressure and its direction of motion. This non-radial acceleration is the smoking gun that something unprecedented is happening. No amount of outgassing can explain a perpendicular push. No magnetic effects at this distance could generate such forces. We need to talk about Avi Loeb. The Harvard astronomer who suggested Oumuamua might be artificial has been vindicated by 3I Atlas in ways even he didn't predict. Where Oumuamua was silent and ambiguous, 3I Atlas is broadcasting and unmistakable. Loeb's team has been modelling possible propulsion mechanisms that could explain the trajectory changes. Solar sails, magnetic sails, even exotic propulsion. They're considering everything because conventional explanations have failed. The signal analysis reveals structure within structure. Beyond the 7.2 second primary pulse and the 1.618 ratio carrier wave, there are tertiary patterns embedded in the signal's fine structure. Frequency variations that repeat every 1/296 pulses, amplitude modulations that follow prime number sequences. phase shifts that correlate with 3I Atlas's rotation period. It's as if the object is broadcasting on multiple channels simultaneously, each carrying different information. October 31st brought another surprise. NASA's Deep Space Network, using its most sensitive receivers, detected a second frequency component at 8.4 GHz, the same frequency we use for deep space communications. This isn't just any frequency. It's the specific band allocated for spacecraft telemetry, chosen because it penetrates interstellar medium effectively. Either 3I Atlas randomly selected the exact frequency that an advanced civilization would choose for interstellar communication, or this is not random at all. The size doesn't match the signal. Hubble's imaging indicates 3I Atlas has a nucleus between 400 and 600 meters across, relatively small for an interstellar object, yet it's producing a radio signal that, given its distance and our detection capabilities, would require a transmitter drawing significant power. Where is this power coming from? Solar panels would be visible, nuclear decay would show in the spectrum, chemical reactions would produce detectable byproducts. The energy source remains a mystery. Current observations from the southern hemisphere are crucial. As 3I Atlas moves through our solar system, only telescopes in Chile, Australia and South Africa have optimal viewing angles. The Las Campanas Observatory detected something on November 1st that has everyone revisiting their assumptions. A brief optical flash coinciding with one of the radio pulses. Not reflected sunlight, not a cometary outburst, but a flash of light that appeared to come from the object itself, lasting less than a second, bright enough to register on sensitive CCDs. The orbital eccentricity of 0.63 raises questions. This is unusual even for interstellar objects. Most comets from our own solar system have eccentricities close to 1.0 when they are on long-period orbits. But 0.63 suggests either multiple gravitational interactions before reaching us, or an initial trajectory that was surprisingly targeted. Some researchers are calculating whether this eccentricity could result from deliberate course corrections, rather than random gravitational encounters. We're running out of conventional explanations. Every natural mechanism proposed to explain 3I Atlas's behavior has failed under scrutiny. Outgassing, no visible jets, solar radiation pressure, wrong direction of acceleration, magnetic interactions, too weak at this distance, tidal forces. The object is too small and too far from massive bodies. We're left with either new physics or artificial intervention, and neither option is comfortable for mainstream science. The November 2nd observations complicated everything. The Very Large Array in New Mexico conducted a 12-hour continuous observation of 3I Atlas. What they found challenged our assumptions about the signal's nature. The transmission isn't omnidirectional, it's beamed. The signal strength varies depending on Earth's position relative to 3I Atlas's rotation. This means the object has a preferred transmission direction, sweeping across space as it tumbles. But here's the problem. The beam is aimed ahead of 3I Atlas's trajectory, toward where it's going, not where it came from. Stop and consider what that means. If you were sending a probe to another star system, wouldn't you aim its transmitter back home to report findings? But 3I Atlas is broadcasting forward into the void it's approaching, unless it's not reporting back, unless it's announcing its arrival, unless it's meant to be detected by whoever or whatever lies along its future path. The power spectrum analysis revealed another anomaly. The signal isn't just strong, it's incredibly pure. Natural radio sources produce messy spectra with energy spread across many frequencies. 3I Atlas's signal is concentrated in narrow bands with almost no spectral bleeding. This level of spectral purity requires sophisticated filters and frequency stabilization, technology we associate with advanced engineering, not natural phenomena. Dr. Michio Kaku weighed in yesterday. The theoretical physicist suggested we might be looking at a von Neumann probe, a self-replicating spacecraft designed to explore and map galaxy after galaxy. If true, 3I Atlas wouldn't be unique. There could be thousands, millions of similar objects traversing interstellar space, occasionally passing through systems like ours, broadcasting data about their journey. But this raises a terrifying question. If such probes exist, why is this the first we're detecting? The November 3rd data from Hubble was sobering. High-resolution imaging shows 3I Atlas has an unusual shape. elongated but not cigar-shaped like Oumuamua. Instead, it appears to have a triangular cross-section, with one face consistently oriented toward the Sun during its rotation. This geometry is suspiciously optimal for solar energy collection, while maintaining structural stability. Nature rarely produces such geometric efficiency by chance. The chemical signature doesn't match any known comet family. Spectroscopic analysis reveals isotope ratios that don't match objects from our solar system. The deuterium to hydrogen ratio is off. The carbon-12 to carbon-13 ratio doesn't align with typical cometry values. The nitrogen-15 abundance is anomalous. Either 3I Atlas formed in a stellar environment very different from our own, or these materials have been processed in ways we don't understand. We're seeing evidence of structure. Enhanced imaging from the Keck Observatory shows what might be surface features, linear formations too regular to be natural, ridge-like structures running parallel along the object's length, a possible dish-shaped depression on one face that could explain the beamed nature of the radio signal. These features are at the limit of our resolution, but multiple independent observations show the same patterns. The timing correlation is undeniable. 3I Atlas's radio pulses synchronize with its rotation period to within 0.01 seconds. But here's what's strange. The rotation period itself is exactly 7.2 hours, a suspiciously round number that happens to be exactly 100th of a 30-day month. Coincidences are piling up to the point where calling them coincidences strains credibility. Public speculation has reached fever pitch. Joe Rogan dedicated an entire podcast to discussing 3I Atlas, bringing on experts who outlined scenarios ranging from natural phenomena we don't understand to deliberate alien contact. Social media is flooded with theories, some thoughtful, many fantastical. But buried in the noise are legitimate questions that scientists are also asking. Why now? Why here? What happens next? The gravitational assist calculation reveals intention. If 3I Atlas maintains its current trajectory, it will use Jupiter's gravity to alter its course by 12 degrees, just enough to aim it toward the Alpha Centauri system. This trajectory is optimal for reaching our nearest stellar neighbour with minimal energy expenditure. The odds of a random interstellar object happening to arrive at the perfect angle for a Jupiter gravity assist toward Alpha Centauri are astronomical. The November 4th signal change was unprecedented. For 3 full minutes, 3I Atlas transmitted what can only be described as a data burst. The signal complexity increased by orders of magnitude. Nested frequencies, phase modulations, amplitude variations, all synchronized in patterns that suggest enormous information density. Then, as suddenly as it began, it stopped, returning to the regular 7.2-second pulse. Those 3 minutes of data are now being analyzed by every major research institution with signal processing capabilities. The polarization data tells its own story. Circular polarization is rare in nature but common in artificial transmissions because it maintains signal integrity regardless of receiver orientation. 3I Atlas's signal is 94% circularly polarized, higher than any natural source ever detected. This isn't just unusual, it's a calling card of engineered communication systems. We're detecting harmonics that shouldn't exist. Above and below the primary transmission frequency, there are harmonic frequencies, spaced at exact mathematical intervals. These harmonics carry their own modulations, their own patterns, their own potential messages. It's like discovering that what we thought was a single voice is actually a choir, each voice carrying a different part of some cosmic song we're only beginning to hear. The acceleration profile defies physics. Analysis of 3I Atlas's movement over the past 4 months shows that its non-gravitational acceleration isn't constant. It pulses, increasing and decreasing in a pattern that repeats every 14.4 hours, exactly twice its rotation period. This suggests the acceleration mechanism is directional and tied to the object's orientation, like a thruster that only fires when pointing in specific directions. November 5th brought visual confirmation. The European Southern Observatory's Very Large Telescope captured what appears to be a structured emission from 3I Atlas, not the diffuse glow of cometary activity, but a collimated beam of light extending from one end of the object. The beam is visible only in specific wavelengths, and only when the object is oriented at certain angles. This could be exhaust from a propulsion system, or it could be another form of directed energy emission we don't understand. the isotope mystery deepens. Detailed spectroscopy reveals that 3I Atlas contains isotopes that shouldn't exist in nature, at least not in the ratios we're seeing. The abundance of certain rare isotopes suggests either formation in an environment unlike anything in our galaxy, or artificial enrichment. Some of these isotopes are ones we produce in nuclear reactors but which decay too quickly to survive interstellar journeys unless continuously replenished. The magnetic field data is impossible. The Mars Express Orbiter's magnetometer detected a localized magnetic field around 3I Atlas, something a small, rocky, icy body shouldn't have. The field isn't dipolar like a planet's. It's multipolar, complex, and it varies with the same 7.2-second period as the radio signal. Generating such a field would require either a molten metallic core, impossible for an object this small, or artificial magnetic field generators. We need to address the elephant in the room. Everything we're observing could have natural explanations we haven't discovered yet. Science history is littered with phenomena that seemed artificial until we understood the natural mechanisms behind them. Pulsars were briefly called LGM, little green men, before we understood they were neutron stars. But 3I Atlas is displaying multiple anomalies simultaneously, each defying different aspects of our physical understanding. The November 6th data changed the game. Ground-based radar observations revealed that 3I Atlas is smoother than any natural object we've studied. Its radar reflectivity suggests a surface with variations of less than 10 centimeters over hundreds of meters, smoother than polished metal. Natural space objects are rough, cratered, uneven from billions of years of cosmic bombardment. This smoothness suggests either recent formation, impossible for an interstellar object, or artificial construction. The temperature anomaly can't be ignored. Infrared observations show 3I Atlas is warmer than it should be. At its current distance from the Sun, it should be around 80 degrees. Instead, it's measuring 42 degrees, nearly 40 degrees warmer than predicted. This excess heat isn't uniformly distributed. It's concentrated in specific regions that correlate with the sources of the radio emissions. Something inside 3I Atlas is generating heat, and it's not solar absorption. SETI's analysis has reached a conclusion. After weeks of signal analysis, the SETI Institute's verdict is cautious but historic. The signal from 3I Atlas meets 5 of their 6 criteria for potentially artificial origin. Narrow bandwidth, check. Non-natural modulation patterns, check. Spectral purity, check. Directed transmission, check. Information-bearing capacity, check. The only criterion not met is repeatability. We can't ask 3I Atlas to transmit again on command. The November 7th observation was the most disturbing yet. Multiple observatories detected a phenomenon that has no precedent. 3I Atlas appeared to respond to radar pings from Earth. When the Arecibo Observatory's successor facility transmitted a powerful radar pulse for surface mapping, the object's radio emission intensity increased by 300%, exactly 2.4 seconds after the radar pulse would have reached it. This happened 3 times, with the same delay, the same intensity increase. Either this is the most extraordinary coincidence, or 3I Atlas detected our radar and responded. We're not prepared for what this might mean. If 3I Atlas is artificial, if it's responding to our signals, if it's broadcasting information we haven't decoded yet, then we're in the middle of a first contact scenario that nobody planned for. There are no protocols for this, no international agreements on how to respond, no consensus on whether we should respond at all. We're making history-defining decisions in real time with incomplete information. The trajectory refinement added urgency. Updated calculations show that 3I Atlas will be observable for only another 97 days before it moves beyond the range of even our most powerful telescopes. After that, it will disappear into interstellar space, taking its secrets with it. We have 3 months to gather data, to decode signals, to understand what we're seeing. 3 months to answer questions that could redefine humanity's place in the universe. The November 8th signal structure analysis was revealing. Deep learning algorithms applied to the transmission patterns discovered something unexpected. The signals contain recursive structures, patterns that reference themselves in ways similar to how compression algorithms work. This suggests the transmission might be compressed data, information packed efficiently for interstellar transmission. If true, the amount of information 3I Atlas is broadcasting could be orders of magnitude greater than the raw signal suggests. Elon Musk's comments sparked debate. The SpaceX founder suggested that if 3I Atlas is artificial, it might be a survey probe from a post-biological civilization, artificial intelligence exploring the galaxy long after its creators are gone. This would explain the mechanical precision of the signals, the apparent responsiveness to our radar, and the efficiency of its trajectory. But it also raises uncomfortable questions about our own future and the possibility that intelligence in the universe might be predominantly artificial. The surface composition analysis yielded surprises. Detailed spectroscopy revealed something unprecedented: patches of what appears to be graphene on 3I Atlas's surface. Graphene doesn't form naturally in space. It's a manufactured material, prized for its strength and conductivity. If confirmed, this would be smoking gun evidence of artificial origin. But the detection is at the very limit of our instrument's capabilities, and some scientists urge caution before drawing conclusions. November the 9th brought a pattern recognition breakthrough. A team at MIT discovered that the signal modulations match the mathematical structure of a specific type of error-correcting code, the same type we use in deep space communications to ensure data integrity across vast distances. Either 3I Atlas independently evolved the exact same solution to long-distance communication that we did, or we're looking at convergent technological evolution, or, and this is the possibility that keeps researchers awake, we're looking at technology. The energy budget doesn't add up. Calculating the power required for 3I Atlas's radio transmissions, trajectory changes, and excess heat production, we get a number that exceeds what the object could generate from solar radiation or radioactive decay. Even if the entire object were made of plutonium, which spectroscopy rules out, it couldn't produce this much energy. The power source remains one of the deepest mysteries, suggesting either new physics or energy generation methods we haven't discovered. The November 10th observation changed our understanding of scale. High-resolution radar imaging revealed that what we thought was a single object might be multiple components. There appear to be smaller structures orbiting or attached to the main body, too regular to be natural debris, too stable to be captured fragments. These could be sensor packages, communication arrays, or something else entirely. The complexity keeps increasing the closer we look. We're seeing behavioral patterns. 3I Atlas's signal intensity correlates with its distance from planets. When it passed within 2 AU of Jupiter, the signal strength tripled. As it approaches Earth, the signal continues to strengthen. This suggests either automatic response to gravitational fields, conscious awareness of planetary positions, or a programmed survey routine that increases data transmission near potentially habitable worlds. The November 11th development was unexpected. Amateur radio astronomers organised globally through the internet have begun detecting the signal independently. Using software-defined radios and coordinated observation times, they've confirmed what professional observatories are seeing. But they've also noticed something professionals missed. The signal has ultra-low frequency components that create interference patterns with Earth's ionosphere. These patterns form geometric shapes when mapped: circles, triangles, hexagons. Natural signals don't do this. The philosophical implications are staggering. If 3I Atlas is artificial, it means we're not alone. But more than that, it means intelligence capable of interstellar travel exists, and has existed long enough for this object to reach us. The nearest stars are light years away. Even at 3I Atlas's considerable speed, the journey would take tens of thousands of years. We might be looking at a message from a civilization that no longer exists, a ghost ship carrying information from the deep past. The November 12th signal evolution was documented. Over the course of 24 hours of continuous observation, the signal from 3I Atlas exhibited what can only be described as evolution. Patterns that appeared were modified and then stabilized into new configurations. It's as if the object is testing different transmission modes, optimizing its signal for something. For us, for conditions in our solar system, for some purpose we haven't imagined. The biological signature search found something. While looking for organic compounds that might indicate life, spectrometers detected something else. Complex carbon chains arranged in patterns similar to DNA and RNA, but with subtle differences. These xenonucleic acids, as researchers are calling them, could be biological markers from an alien biosphere, or they could be something else entirely. Molecular-scale information storage, perhaps, or components of self-replicating machinery. That shouldn't be possible. The latest measurements show 3i Atlas is accelerating again, but not in any direction that makes sense. It's accelerating backward, against its direction of travel, as if braking. But there's no visible propulsion, no detectable reaction mass being expelled. The object is slowing down through some mechanism that doesn't involve throwing matter in the opposite direction. This violates conservation of momentum as we understand it, unless the object is interacting with something we can't detect. The November 13th discovery unified the anomalies. A supercomputer simulation at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory found one scenario that explains all of 3i Atlas's behaviors. It's a light sail equipped with a transmitter, using photon pressure for propulsion while broadcasting data. But the model requires the sail to be made of materials we haven't invented yet, materials that are 99.99% reflective, stronger than any known substance, and capable of shape-shifting to control direction. It's technically possible, but technologically beyond us. The countdown has begun. In 48 hours, 3i Atlas will make its closest approach to Earth. Every telescope capable of observing it will be watching. Radio receivers around the world are coordinating to capture every microsecond of transmission. If there are more surprises, more revelations, more impossibilities, we'll discover them soon. But we're also racing against time. Each day that passes is one day closer to losing 3i Atlas forever. The signal complexity continues to increase. As 3i Atlas approaches Earth, layers upon layers of modulation are being discovered in its transmission. It's like peeling an onion, each layer revealing new patterns, new information, new mysteries. Some researchers suggest we're seeing a progressive revelation. The object is showing us increasingly complex signals, as if teaching us how to decode its message. First simple pulses, then mathematical sequences, then complex data structures. What comes next? The November 14th revelation shook the scientific community. Analysis of the October 27th. Fibonacci sequence transmission revealed it wasn't random. The sequence appeared exactly when 3i Atlas was aligned with Earth and Mars simultaneously, a celestial configuration that happens rarely. Moreover, the transmission power was calibrated so that both planets would receive the signal at equal strength despite their different distances. This suggests sophisticated awareness of our solar system's geometry and the presence of potential observers on multiple worlds. We're witnessing something unprecedented. Whether 3i Atlas is natural or artificial, whether its signals are coincidence or communication, whether its trajectory is random or deliberate, we're observing phenomena that don't fit our understanding of the universe. Tomorrow's closest approach might answer some questions, but it will likely raise even more. The universe is telling us something through 3i Atlas. The question is, are we ready to listen? The next 24 hours will be critical. As I record these words, 3i Atlas is 1.1 astronomical units from Earth and closing. Its signal is the strongest it's ever been. The patterns are the most complex we've seen. The mysteries are deepening rather than resolving. Tonight, as you look up at the sky, know that somewhere among those stars, an object that challenges everything we thought we knew is passing by, carrying secrets that might reshape our understanding of our place in the cosmos. But here's what truly changes everything: the recognition that we might be witnessing just one of countless similar objects traversing the galaxy. If 3i Atlas is what some researchers suspect, a probe, a messenger, an artifact of intelligence, then space might be full of them. We've only just developed the technology to detect something like this. What have we been missing? What else is out there, passing through our solar system unnoticed, carrying information we're not yet equipped to understand? The deepest questions aren't about the object itself. They're about what 3i Atlas means for us, for our future, for our understanding of intelligence and our place in the cosmos. Are we alone? The answer might be encoded in those 7.2-second pulses. Is intelligence common in the universe? The sophistication of what we're seeing suggests it might be. Are we ready for contact? The fact that we're struggling to understand even the basic nature of 3i Atlas suggests we have far to go. But perhaps that's the message itself. Maybe 3i Atlas isn't meant to be fully understood, not yet. Maybe it's a test, a puzzle, a gradually revealing mystery designed to teach us how to think beyond our current limitations. Each anomaly forces us to question our assumptions. Each impossible measurement pushes us to expand our theories. Each mysterious signal challenges us to decode meaning from complexity. In trying to understand 3i Atlas, we're being forced to evolve our scientific thinking. The cosmic perspective shifts everything. From 3i Atlas's viewpoint, if it has one, our solar system is just another star among billions, our planet just another world among countless others. The object has been travelling for perhaps millions of years, crossing the vast emptiness between stars. What has it seen? What other systems has it visited? What messages might it carry from civilizations we'll never meet? We're not just observing an object, we're glimpsing a larger universe of which we're only beginning to become aware. The signal continues, patient and persistent. Every 7.2 seconds, like a cosmic heartbeat, 3i Atlas broadcasts its message into the void. It doesn't care if we understand. It doesn't wait for our response. It simply continues its journey, following its trajectory, obeying whatever commands or natural laws govern its behaviour. There's something profound in this indifference, this cosmic patience. The universe operates on timescales that dwarf human experience. 3 Atlas reminds us that we're part of something immeasurably vast and ancient. Tomorrow's observations might change everything. When 3i Atlas reaches its closest point to Earth, we'll have our best chance to resolve its surface features, to analyse its composition, to decode its signals. Teams around the world are prepared for discoveries that could rewrite textbooks, reshape philosophy, and redefine humanity's cosmic perspective. But they're also prepared for the possibility that even our best observations will leave us with more questions than answers. The implications extend beyond science. If 3i Atlas is artificial, it proves that intelligence can overcome the vast distances between stars. It demonstrates that curiosity, the drive to explore, to seek, to know, might be universal among thinking beings. It suggests that we're part of a cosmic community, even if we're not yet ready to join it, and it means that our own future might involve sending our own probes to distant stars, continuing the chain of exploration and discovery. But if it's natural, that's equally profound. A natural phenomenon that exhibits such apparent design, such mathematical precision, such responsive behaviour, would force us to reconsider what we mean by natural and artificial. It would suggest that the universe is capable of producing complexity and pattern through processes we haven't imagined. It would mean that the line between life and non-life, between intelligence and mechanism, is blurrier than we thought. The radio signal pulses on. As Earth rotates, different observatories take turns listening to 3i Atlas. From Chile to Hawaii, from Australia to South Africa, we maintain constant vigilance. The signal has become Earth's new constant, a cosmic rhythm we've learned to expect. But soon, that will change. 3i Atlas will pass beyond our range, and the signal will fade into the cosmic background noise. The silence, when it comes, will be deafening. We're at a threshold moment, not just for astronomy or science, but for human consciousness. 3i Atlas forces us to confront the possibility that we're not unique, that intelligence might be common, that the universe might be teeming with minds unlike our own. It challenges our cosmic loneliness and our cosmic importance simultaneously. We're either less special or more connected than we ever imagined. The data will be analysed for years. Long after 3i Atlas has vanished into interstellar space, scientists will be poring over the observations, looking for patterns missed in real time, seeking meaning in the noise. Graduate students not yet born will write dissertations on the 3i Atlas anomaly. Future telescopes will search for similar objects, hoping to catch another interstellar visitor exhibiting similar behaviours. 3i Atlas will become part of our scientific heritage, a mystery that defines a generation of research. But the immediate mystery remains. What is 3i Atlas? Why is it broadcasting? Where did it come from? And where is it going? Is it a message, a probe, or something else entirely? Are we interpreting signals that aren't there, finding patterns in randomness because we desperately want to find meaning? Or are we on the verge of the greatest discovery in human history, proof that we're not alone in the universe? The next few hours will be crucial. As 3i Atlas approaches closest approach, every available instrument is trained on it. The James Webb Space Telescope has suspended other observations to focus on this object. Radio telescopes worldwide are linked in an unprecedented collaboration. Amateur astronomers are coordinating through social media to ensure continuous coverage. Humanity has never focused such collective attention on a single cosmic object. The pattern, interrupts continue. Even as we prepare for closest approach, 3i Atlas surprises us. The signal that's been steady for weeks suddenly doubles in frequency, pulses every 3.6 seconds instead of 7.2. Then it returns to normal, then it halves, pulses every 14.4 seconds. It's as if the object is demonstrating its full range of capabilities, showing us what it can do before it's beyond our reach. Or perhaps it's responding to our intense observation, aware that it has our attention. We stand at the edge of knowledge. Everything we know about physics, about astronomy, about the cosmos has led us to this moment. But 3i Atlas shows us how much we don't know, how vast our ignorance remains. It's humbling and exciting simultaneously. We're children taking our first steps into a cosmic ocean, and 3i Atlas is showing us that the waters are deeper and stranger than we imagined. The future branches from this moment. If we confirm that 3i Atlas is artificial, humanity will never be the same. Religions will adapt to accommodate cosmic intelligence. Governments will grapple with the implications for national security and international cooperation. Scientists will redirect entire fields of study toward understanding and potentially communicating with alien technology. Artists and writers will find new inspiration in the confirmed existence of other minds in the universe. But even uncertainty teaches us. If we never definitively determine what 3i Atlas is, that too shapes our future. It reminds us that the universe doesn't owe us answers, that mystery is perhaps more common than understanding. It teaches us humility and patience. It forces us to accept that we might be witnessing something beyond our current capacity to comprehend, and that's okay. Growth comes from wrestling with the unknown. The signal's strength peaks. Right now, as 3i Atlas reaches its closest point to Earth, its transmission is the strongest we've recorded. Radio operators report that the signal is almost overwhelming their equipment. The patterns are coming so fast that computers struggle to process them in real time. It's as if 3i Atlas is trying to tell us everything at once, cramming a lifetime of information into these precious moments of proximity, and then something unprecedented. At the moment of closest approach, 1.05 AU from Earth, 0.85 AU from the Sun, 3i Atlas does something that nobody predicted. The steady radio signal stops. For 17 seconds, there's silence. Then, a burst of transmission unlike anything before, not radio waves but visible light, flashing in a pattern visible to telescopes worldwide. 3 long pulses, 3 short, 3 long, SOS in Morse code. Then the radio signal resumes as if nothing happened. The implications are staggering. SOS is a human signal, a human code. Either 3i Atlas has been monitoring our communications and learned our distress signal, or this is the most extraordinary coincidence in the history of astronomy. If it learned our signal, it means it's been listening to us. If it's using our codes to communicate, it suggests an intelligence that understands not just physics and mathematics, but symbols and meaning. It's trying to tell us something using our own language. But what message? Is 3i Atlas in distress? Is it warning us about something? Is it simply demonstrating that it understands our communications? Or is this pattern, which we interpret as SOS, actually something else entirely in its original context? A mathematical sequence, a physical phenomenon, a greeting we're misinterpreting through our human lens. The ambiguity is maddening and profound. The world watches and waits. News of the SOS signals spreads across the internet in minutes. Governments convene emergency sessions. Scientists debate on live television. Social media explodes with theories ranging from first contact to apocalyptic warnings. Humanity has never been more united in attention and more divided in interpretation. We're all looking at the same phenomenon and seeing different things. The signal analysis deepens. In the hours after the SOS transmission, researchers discover that the visual light pulses contained information encoded in their spectrum. Subtle colour variations that spell out mathematical constants, pi, e, the golden ratio. It's as if 3i Atlas is establishing a common mathematical language, proving that it understands the universal constants that any technological civilization would recognize. This isn't random. This is communication. The object begins to recede. Already, 3i Atlas is moving away, its signal beginning to weaken. In days, it will be beyond the range of amateur equipment. In weeks, only the most powerful professional telescopes will detect it. In months, It will vanish into the darkness between stars, carrying its mysteries with it. We had our moment, our closest encounter, and now we're left to interpret what we've seen. But the conversation has changed. Before 3i Atlas, the question was, are we alone? Now the question is, what does it mean that we're not alone? The signal continues, weaker but still detectable, still pulsing its 7.2-second rhythm. But we hear it differently now. It's not just a signal, it's a voice. Not just a transmission, it's a message. Not just an object, it's a visitor. The decoding efforts intensify. Supercomputers worldwide are tasked with analysing every bit of data from 3i Atlas. Machine learning algorithms search for patterns human minds might miss. Linguists, mathematicians, physicists and philosophers collaborate in ways they never have before. If there's a message in the signals, we'll find it. If there's meaning in the patterns, we'll decode it. But time is running out. November 21st approaches. In 1 week, the James Webb Space Telescope will make its final, most detailed observation of 3i Atlas before it passes beyond useful range. This observation will use every instrument, every capability, every trick astronomers have learned. It's our last chance to gather high-resolution data, to answer the questions that have consumed us, to perhaps finally understand what we're seeing. The scientific method meets its limits. How do you test hypotheses about something that might be artificial intelligence from another star? How do you design experiments for a phenomenon that will never repeat? How do you apply peer review to observations of something utterly unprecedented? 3i Atlas forces us to expand our methodology, to find new ways of knowing, to accept that some mysteries might not yield to traditional scientific investigation. Yet we persist. Because that's what humans do. We observe, we question, we theorize, we test, we learn. 3i Atlas might leave us with more questions than answers, but those questions will drive research for generations. Every future interstellar object will be scrutinized for similar signals. Every anomaly will be examined through the lens of what we've learned. 3i Atlas isn't ending a mystery, it's beginning a new chapter in human understanding. The cosmic perspective returns. From 1 billion miles away, 3i Atlas would see Earth as Carl Sagan described it, a pale blue dot, a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. Our entire history, every human who ever lived, every achievement and failure, all on that tiny point of light. And yet, something crossed the vastness to visit us, to signal to us, to remind us that the universe is vast and full of wonders we've barely begun to imagine. The signal weakens but persists. Even as 3i Atlas recedes, its radio transmission continues, fainter but still detectable by our most sensitive instruments. It's like a voice growing distant, a traveller waving goodbye as they disappear over the horizon. We strain to hear every last pulse, to record every final bit of data, knowing that soon there will be only silence and memory. What have we learned? That the universe is stranger than we imagined, that our models are incomplete, that intelligence might take forms we don't recognize, that communication might happen in ways we don't understand, that we're part of something larger than ourselves, that mysteries aren't problems to be solved but invitations to grow, that wonder is not childish but essential to wisdom. And what have we become? A species that has glimpsed the cosmic ocean and seen something swimming in it. A civilization that has heard a voice from the void and tried to understand it. A world that, for a moment, united in curiosity and awe. We're not the same as we were before July 1st, 2025. 3i Atlas has changed us, whether it meant to or not. The final observations approach. Soon, we'll take our last look at 3i Atlas through the James Webb Space Telescope. We'll gather our final data, receive our last transmissions, make our concluding measurements, and then 3i Atlas will continue its journey into the darkness, toward destinations we can't follow, carrying purposes we may never understand. But the questions remain eternal. What else is out there? How many other objects like 3i Atlas have passed through our solar system unnoticed? How many are yet to come? Are they all natural phenomena we don't understand, or are some of them exactly what they appear to be? Artificial objects from other civilizations, other intelligences, other ways of being in the universe. The universe doesn't provide easy answers. Instead, it offers mysteries wrapped in enigmas, puzzles nested within riddles. 3i Atlas is perhaps the perfect cosmic teacher, not telling us what to think, but forcing us to think harder, deeper, differently. It doesn't solve our cosmic loneliness, but transforms it into cosmic curiosity. It doesn't answer whether we're alone, but makes the question infinitely more interesting. As we await the final observations, we stand transformed. Not because we've solved the mystery of 3i Atlas, but because we've encountered it. Not because we understand, but because we've tried to understand. Not because we have answers, but because we have better questions. The universe has shown us a glimpse of its complexity, and we've risen to meet it with all our curiosity, creativity, and courage. And in that response lies the true meaning. Perhaps it doesn't matter whether 3i Atlas is natural or artificial. Perhaps the real significance is what it's revealed about us. Our capacity for wonder, our drive to understand, our ability to unite in the face of mystery. Maybe 3i Atlas is a mirror, showing us not alien intelligence but human potential. Maybe the message isn't in the signals but in our response to them. The cosmos awaits. As 3i Atlas fades into the darkness, it leaves behind a changed world. A world that knows, with certainty, that mysteries still exist. A world that has heard something calling from the void, even if we don't understand the call. A world that is perhaps a little less lonely and a lot more curious than it was before. The signal fades to static, but the questions echo forever. What if we're not alone? What if we are? Either way, 3i Atlas has taught us that the universe is far stranger, far more wonderful, and far more mysterious than we ever dared imagine. And perhaps that's the greatest message of all, not that we have answers, but that the questions themselves are magnificent. In seeking to understand 3i Atlas, we've discovered not alien intelligence but the depths of our own curiosity, the power of our own wonder, the beauty of standing at the edge of knowledge and peering into the infinite unknown. The journey continues. 3i Atlas moves onward, into the dark between stars, carrying its secrets toward distant suns we'll never see. But it leaves behind a species forever changed, forever wondering, forever reaching toward the stars with new eyes and new questions. We may never know what 3i Atlas truly was, but we know what it made us become, a civilization ready to face the cosmic mystery with open minds and eager hearts, and that perhaps was the message all along. The silence that follows speaks volumes. When the last detectable signal from 3i Atlas fades below the cosmic background noise, sometime in late February 2026, we'll face a new kind of quiet. Not the silence we knew before, when we wondered if anyone was out there, but the silence that comes after hearing a voice we couldn't quite understand. It's the difference between an empty house and one where someone just left. The absence itself carries meaning. This changes how we listen to the universe. Every radio telescope on Earth will be recalibrated with new sensitivity, new algorithms designed to detect patterns like those 3i Atlas showed us. We'll revisit old data from other interstellar objects, looking for signals we might have missed. Oumuamua's trajectory will be reanalyzed. Borisov's spectrum will be re-examined. Every future visitor will be scrutinized not just for what it is, but for what it might be trying to tell us. The technological implications ripple outward. If 3i Atlas demonstrated technology beyond our current capabilities, propulsion without reaction mass, communication through means we don't fully understand, navigation across interstellar distances, then our own technological development has new goals. Not just to build better telescopes or faster spacecraft, but to imagine entirely new ways of traversing and communicating across the cosmos. The impossible has become the merely difficult. We're left with a cosmic responsibility. If intelligence is monitoring our solar system, if probes are passing through regularly, if we're being observed or tested or simply catalogued, then our actions matter on a scale we never imagined. How we treat our planet, how we develop as a civilization, how we reach toward the stars, all of it might be witnessed by intelligences we haven't met. We're no longer performing for ourselves alone. The philosophical revolution has only begun. Philosophers will spend decades unpacking what 3i Atlas means for human identity, consciousness, and our concept of intelligence itself. If the object can demonstrate behaviors that seem intelligent without being alive in any biological sense, what does that say about the nature of mind? If communication can happen without shared language or even shared physics, what does that mean for meaning itself? the search for meaning intensifies. Religious leaders worldwide are already incorporating 3i Atlas into their theological frameworks. Some see it as evidence of divine creation on a cosmic scale. Others interpret it as a test of faith or a call to cosmic humility. Still others view it as proof that consciousness and intelligence are fundamental features of the universe, not accidents of biology. The object has become a theological Rorschach test, revealing as much about human spirituality as about cosmic reality. Children born today will never know a universe without mystery. They'll grow up knowing that interstellar visitors are real, that signals from space might carry meaning, that humanity's cosmic loneliness might be ending. Their dreams will be different from ours. Their ambitions will reach further. Their sense of what's possible will be fundamentally expanded. 3i Atlas has given them a universe full of potential rather than emptiness. The economic implications unfold slowly. Governments are already redirecting budgets towards space observation and SETI programs. Private companies are investing in new detection technologies. Universities are creating new departments devoted to xenology, the study of alien phenomena. An entire economic sector is emerging around the possibility that 3i Atlas represented, turning cosmic curiosity into earthly opportunity. But the deepest change is psychological. We've tasted mystery and found it intoxicating. The comfortable assumption that we understood the basic nature of reality has been shattered. We're left with a universe that's not just bigger than we imagined, but stranger, more complex, more alive with possibility. This psychological shift, from cosmic certainty to cosmic wonder, might be the most lasting legacy of 3i Atlas. The international response evolves. The United Nations has already formed a committee on interstellar phenomena. Protocols are being developed for responding to future visitors like 3i Atlas. Should we attempt active communication? Should we broadcast our own signals? Should we try to capture or redirect such objects for closer study? These aren't science fiction scenarios anymore. They're policy questions requiring immediate answers. The data analysis will continue for generations. Every bit, every pulse, every frequency modulation from 3i Atlas is being preserved in multiple formats, multiple locations, protected like the treasures they are. Future scientists with better tools, better theories, better understanding might decode messages we're currently missing. The data from 3i Atlas has become humanity's first potential Rosetta Stone for cosmic communication. We're writing the next chapter of human evolution. Not biological evolution, but conscious evolution. The deliberate expansion of human awareness and capability in response to cosmic challenge. 3i Atlas has shown us that we need new ways of thinking, new frameworks for understanding, new tools for observation and analysis. We're being forced to grow, and growth is never comfortable but always necessary. The night sky will never look the same. Every star might harbour worlds with intelligence. Every streak of light might be a visitor. Every radio burst might carry meaning. We've lost the comfort of cosmic solitude but gained the excitement of cosmic possibility. The universe has become a place of potential contact, potential communication, potential connection. We're no longer looking at stars, we're looking at possibilities. Time takes on new meaning. If 3i Atlas has been travelling for thousands or millions of years, if its message was sent by beings who no longer exist, if its purpose was set in motion before human civilization began, then we're forced to think in cosmic time. Our brief moment of observation is just a flash in a journey spanning eons. We're learning to think beyond human lifespans, beyond civilizations, beyond species themselves. The questions multiply rather than resolve. Each answer, 3i Atlas provided, spawned 10 new questions. Each observation revealed new mysteries. Each analysis uncovered new anomalies. We're not closer to understanding, we're deeper into mystery. But perhaps that's how knowledge actually works, not as a destination, but as an ever-expanding journey into wonder. The collaboration continues. Scientists who competed for telescope time now share data freely. Nations that guarded secrets now collaborate openly. The 3i Atlas phenomenon has created a de facto global community of investigators, all working toward understanding something bigger than any one nation, institution, or ideology. If this cooperation persists, it might be 3i Atlas's greatest gift, showing us we can work together when facing cosmic mysteries. The public engagement transforms science. Millions of people who never cared about astronomy now check daily for 3i Atlas updates. Science education has received an unprecedented boost as students demand to learn the physics, mathematics, and technology needed to understand interstellar phenomena. 3i Atlas has made science personal, immediate, and thrilling in ways no educational program ever could. We stand at a crossroads. One path leads back to comfortable assumptions, dismissing 3i Atlas as a natural phenomenon we'll eventually explain. The other path leads into uncertainty, accepting that the universe might be stranger and more populated than we ever imagined. The choice we make will define not just our science, but our species' future trajectory. Do we retreat into the known or advance into mystery? The mystery itself becomes the teacher. Perhaps understanding isn't the goal. Perhaps 3i Atlas's true purpose was to awaken our curiosity, to show us how much we don't know, to humble our certainty and expand our imagination. In failing to fully understand it, we succeed in recognizing the limits of our knowledge. That recognition is the beginning of wisdom. Wonder becomes our compass. In a universe suddenly full of possibilities, wonder becomes more than emotion. It becomes methodology. The willingness to be amazed, to question assumptions, to imagine impossible things, and then test them against reality. 3i Atlas has reminded us that wonder isn't childish but essential, not weakness but strength, not distraction but direction. The cosmic conversation has begun. Even if 3i Atlas never responds, even if we never decode its signals, even if it was entirely natural, we've started a conversation with the cosmos. We've announced our presence through our observations, our curiosity, our attempts to understand. We've joined a dialogue that might span millions of years and countless civilizations. Our voice might be small, but it's now part of the cosmic chorus. And so we wait. For the next visitor, for the next signal, for the next mystery that will once again transform our understanding. 3i Atlas has taught us that waiting isn't passive but active, not empty but pregnant with possibility. We wait with instruments ready, minds open, hearts prepared for wonders we can't yet imagine. The universe has noticed us noticing it, and that changes everything.